message of love finds you comfortable and peaceful, but not too peaceful. I hope tonight I'm trying to avoid a kind of a message, an angry message, but I'm not angry the way one might think. I am I am contemplating, I am realizing that the end is not going to be for everyone. That's what Q says. The end is not for everyone. I've always wondered what that meant. What does that mean? The end is not for everyone. It's a very mystical statement coming from Q, and I've never understood that because we think of ourselves as I don't know what. I don't know what. I judge where people are based on the messages that I send out in my little videos. These are like sort of like test patterns. Howdy, folks. Michigan checking in. Hey, Larry. I'm thinking a bit um, of the person. I can't remember his name offhand, but the person who ate a lot of mushrooms. Uh, um, you know who I'm talking about. The philosopher. He ate. He participated in a lot of DMT experiments, and he said that things are going to get weirder and weirder by the end, and they are. Things are weirder and weirder. The kind of information that I'm putting together now that seems to be commonplace on X is is on a fundamental level deconstructing our reality, deconstructed what we thought was true, what we thought was the world. And as a result of the the particular pathway, hey Paul Little, Jeffrey Lloyd, hey man, Larry, as a result of the pathway that seems to have chosen me and that I've embraced, I look back at the Matrix with awe and wonder of how anyone could be confused, could be puzzled, could be having difficulty with this transition, and that may very well be because a good part of me, maybe a good part of what I'm coming to understand, maybe beyond time, maybe from the future and the past together. I feel like I don't belong here anymore. I feel that it's people just are not getting it. They cannot escape third dimensional reality. And so I'm thinking that, hey, John Watson, I'm thinking that perhaps for me at least, and for my sanity and my community and my pathway, that I've chosen a pathway that's a little bit like the solution to Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. I think that I'm constantly thinking about the story, but like Q, she agrees with this basic idea that the end is not for everyone. The end is not for everyone. And a select group of people created a community in Colorado somewhere, a hidden community based on Tesla technology. And that the main character in Atlas Shrugged seems to be based on the idea of Nikola Tesla. It seems to be a character in that ilk, that he invents the motor, the new motor that and we have you have inventors inventing a new type of steel. They're talking online about a new type of material that was invented by AI. AI is coming up with solutions that have baffled our so-called scientists for years. I saw another thing where a young man created a fusion energy system in his garage. Now, people have been supposed scientists have been grappling with this. If you go out in polite society and you say that, well, the DJT stock is involved with nuclear fusion, a nuclear fusion power plant, they will just tell you that's impossible. It can't be done. Like curing cancer, it can't be done. But in fact, it has been done. So there's a huge disconnect. And people like you and I believe people in this community are open to different levels of quantum reality, different probabilities of where the electron is and what the electron is, and the ability to stop seeing things simply as material and spiritual and judging things from a third dimensional Walter Cronkite type of reality. What's happening today? You know, Walter Cronkite would tell you this is what's happening today, and people would believe it. Did we think at the time that the black nobility, that the 13 bloodline families, that the Illuminati, that the parasites were the Nazis were actively stealing our money and living in different realities than we can even imagine? We've been so misled. I realized this morning that there's only one letter difference between sleep and sheep, right? An L or an H. And aren't they very close to each other? H-I-J-K-L. Yeah, they're like 5 apart from each other. H-I-J-K-L. They're 5 apart from each other. 5 numbers of gematria apart from each other. I don't use English gematria. I'm a little snotty that way. I only use Hebrew gematria because I spent 25 years or more learning basic Hebrew. I'm not a linguist. I'm not really able to express myself in Hebrew, but there's certain things that I learned in that time. Found many of the technologies that were left behind after the Tartarian Empire was eradicated by the elites and the mudfloods. Yeah, that's totally sounds possible. But when I go into town and I deal with people in the Matrix, hey, go time. Yeah, go time, man. You may have to come up here. I don't know. I want to talk about that briefly, about the end of Atlas Shrugged, about the end is not for everyone. The end is not from everyone. We walked into a Walmart today, the 3 of us, to get some things, electronics for Daniela's new headphones. And we just looked at each other like, I can't believe this is it just seems so disconnected from our reality, because we believe our reality is outside the matrix, but it's understandable. It's understandable to live here. So just a brief message. If you have had it up to here with the matrix, and if you're willing to give up life as you know it, and you want to work next to people who are non-conventional, not interested in self-fulfillment, self-aggrandizement, I think is the word. I don't know if I can pronounce it, but we're up here creating a very nice, gentle, not so gentle world, a world beyond ego, a world that is connected to a sort of 5D, a five-dimensional essence of vibrational frequency. If you're a carpenter or a cook, or have some kind of skill in organizational skills, and you know how to dream and how to plan and how to live outside the matrix, where you will not be asked to have a job, you will not be asked to contribute money necessarily, although if you can, you it will be welcomed. We're beyond, we're a little bit beyond that here. We are now, with the addition of James, we are working hard on both the gardening situation, and we will soon be starting with chickens and goats. But we live to we are on 170 acres in the middle of the Mojave Desert. We just saw a black widow spider, there are scorpions, there are rattlesnakes, there are mice. It doesn't really, it's not the kind of thing, you hear about that, and you might have an adrenaline rush, but you don't notice it up here. You don't, the rattlesnakes. Yeah. So what? I mean, we don't see them very often. But anyway, if you're beyond the matrix, you're beyond judgment, you're beyond thinking like, wow, I'm so cool, I know about QAnon and I know what's really going on. If you think that that's really cool and it makes you like a special person, don't come, because we're not interested. We're interested in people who are there, who are already there, who are beyond the process of becoming one with your higher self. So if you're one of those people like out of Atlas Shrugged, if you've read Atlas Shrugged, you know the kind of people that we're looking for. If you feel like you're one of those people and you're not going to come up here and start demanding this or that or whatever, or and you can roll with it. You can roll with this is not an easy life. We live in the Mojave Desert, and a high degree of cooperation and skill sets and building, and we have infinite possibilities up here in terms of building. I want to build things out of the fountainhead. I want to build perfectly little cozy places for people to grow families on. I want to expand the land. I want to grow a community of like-minded people who are beyond religion, beyond ego, beyond any kind of identity type things, and they really just want to vibrate with the frequency of working hard, working together, supporting each other in whatever way you can, but really finding yourself, finding your niche. Like James is here to garden. He can't get enough of it. He's picking up cow pods all day. He's putting them in these raised beds. We went to Home Depot today. We got a bunch of material, bunch of new soil and fencing. There's a lot of work to be done to make this into a self-sustaining community off grid. But we are making progress in that area. If you feel like you would like to join us, let me know. Okay, so I just need to get that off my chest. But don't come if you still have issues. Unless you feel like this would be a way for you to heal some of those issues and advance to I don't want to say higher, but we are students of ascension up here. And if you're really a student of ascension and you've gotten beyond judgment, you've gotten beyond the idea of time and money and this kind of thing, you may find a home up here, and we would love to have you. But if you're still working on things and you still feel like, well, I really need a 10-minute hot shower every day, and I got to have my cookies, and I got to have this, and I got to have that. It's not going to work out for you. Okay. So anyway, Terrence McKenna, right. So Terrence McKenna, thank you so much, Matt. You're so on the ball. But Terrence McKenna said it's going to get weirder and weirder, and it is getting weirder and weirder. And we don't want to leave the land. We don't want to go to town. We want to have somebody up here who has a really good vehicle. Let's say you have a fairly new truck, right? And you sold your house and you have the truck, and you want to be our transportation person, and you want to go into town and buy, if we need chicken wire or some kind of wire, or we need a load of 20-foot 2x6s, and you could take the trailer down. You could even use my truck, our truck. You could use the community truck. We need a transportation person. We need somebody to really mind the food issue. We need organizational people. We need, like, Go Time might be a really good defense person. We need to know that we're not going to be invaded by hostile forces, and that we will probably need some kind of people that are geared. We need to know how to use our weaponry if we have to. But we are going to live independently up here. We are not going to be influenced by the matrix. The community might, we might have issues with the community. I don't know. I don't think so, because I don't think we're going to be that big in terms of population up here. And if we do grow that way, we will try to expand our borders and buy other properties, and and make this a new land, a new Tartaria, a pleasurable place to raise children that will learn all kinds of fascinating things. I mean, educationally, I can't think of a better place to live. You'll learn how to grow, you'll learn how to build, you'll learn how to run a solar system, you'll learn how to deal with well water, you'll learn how to clean clothes in the middle of the desert. I mean, you'll learn some real skills. You'll learn what a rattlesnake looks like and what to do about it. You'll know how to walk across the desert. You'll probably at some point be able to identify rocks that carry precious metals in them. We will probably do some minor mining, even though it's not legal up here. We might, we're hoping to finance some of the projects that we want to be able to keep ourselves going with some, the possibility of identifying and mining and isolating precious stones. It could be turquoise. It could be, I've heard there are some kind of blue stone up here. It doesn't have to be gold and silver, but I'm hoping to create a self-sustaining community of like-minded people. We're not heavy into religion. If you're a heavy-duty Christian or a heavy-duty Jewish person, and you need a synagogue and you need a Torah on campus, forget about it. We're not. This is not the place for you. Okay, we're not going to be guilt tripped by anyone. We're going to do whatever it is that comes naturally. And I assume there are all kinds of people in the world, and there are all kinds of character issues that we still will have to deal with, even with people who are on the pathway, that are students of ascension, as Matt says. But it is already an amazing community. So if you want to join us and you want to get out of the matrix, you come live with us. I mean, you work with us, you sleep by us, you eat with us. We want to eat all together. That's another thing. We do not, if you still drink, if you still have to have a can of soda every now and then, don't even think about it. Because we're going to be more and more organic. We're going to be totally independent of produce material. We hope we're going to have our own cattle, our own sheep, our own everything, our own vegetables, and our own systems. So maybe we'll be able to use a little fusion system and run our refrigerators up here. I don't know, but it's going to be it's an amazing place already. And you can walk for 100 yards in any direction from where I'm speaking, and you will be in a place that probably no one has ever walked on ever, or maybe a horse went through there, or a cow, but that's about it. There are a lot of cow paths up here, but basically we're There's some private property around us. Those people don't live here, and I don't think they ever will. And then we're surrounded by a lot of state land. So if you like the idea of living without the matrix completely, let us know and we'll talk about it. You could come visit. You could see if you like it. You could come like James just came and he said, I want to stay. So whatever. Anyway, that's my message on that. 116 XRP is at 116. A great time to buy the dip and going down fast. If you have a little money and you $50 for XRP right now, I think this could be the final flushing out of, but here's the thing, that the difference in my thinking and the thinking of people outside of this community that consider themselves anons or that live with this new narration. We live above time. We are not waiting for the dinars, for example, to go to $3. We are not waiting for XRP to go to, $100,000, $200,000. And I think it will. I don't know if it'll be next year or 10 years from now. And we don't care. We don't care about that. So that eliminates 99% of the new awakened community. Because if you're here and you're waiting and you want to be saved, most of the people are in that. That is not us. The ending is not for everyone. I don't believe those people are going to, in a sense, are not really going to make it, because they're going to get all this stuff and they're just going to be, they won't know what to do with it. If you are already on the pathway, you already know what to do, and you would fit in very nicely here. You'll be like, and you're not, if you come up here and you need to be around people and you need to have discussion all the time and work things out, forget about it. You should be a person who's used to solitude, who's used to like figuring out what to do. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you got to do this and you do that. I'm not babying anyone here anymore. Ever, I'm not doing that. You come up here, you figure out what you want to do. You could work on carpentry. I do appreciate if you consider my ideas, because I have a definite way of looking at architecture that I would like to experiment with up here, and we can make mistakes up here. We can try things and it not work out. But if you're used to that kind of level of understanding, and you don't, if you're on your cell phone all the time, we had people up here that are on their cell phone and they're vaping and that kind of stuff. I mean, they're beautiful people, but it's not really good. It may not necessarily work out that well. It's just, but there are a lot of souls. There are souls. I think not a lot. I don't think there are a lot of souls like that are up to like living like Terrence McKenna was talking about. If you need to, you want to come up here and make a sweat lodge, or you want to, spend a week examining a DMT experiment or something like that, that's okay if it's in the context of a living, growing community of builders. We intend to grow plants that have those properties if we need to, if people want to. I don't believe in ingesting any substance that you don't grow yourself. If you're really into cannabis or tobacco or something like that, you're going to have to grow your own up here, and you're going to have to find the species that really resonates with you and that kind of thing. And you could work with James on that. That's okay. We welcome people of the soil. We welcome people that are engineering oriented, that can help us rewire and figure out new kinds of alternative energy systems up here. It's going to be very much like Galt's Gulch. We may even call it, Daniela likes the idea of calling it Guru's Gulch. We also might call it New Tartaria. I don't know, but it's going to be a resonant frequency, sound, music. We have wind chimes. We could have bells. Whatever. No one within close proximity is going to be complaining about.
How can you buy a bell?
We could buy a bell. We could,
Like the real one.
yeah, we could buy a real bell.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, we could buy a real bell. I'm sure we could. I'm sure we could pull that kind of thing off.
Bitcoin's almost in the 50,000.
Yeah, Bitcoin's going down. This is a radical time for making a decision. If you want, you're not sure and you're waiting till you're sure. Don't even think about coming up here because we're not babysitting people. If if you're like, well, I don't know if it's the right time, stay where you are, please. Don't even think about it, okay? But if you're on the next level and you're ready to like ascend to another level of existence. It's hard work up here. We're in the desert. Um, but you appreciate, if you're one of those people that would appreciate the mindset of people, you know, of people forming a community of doers. It's all about action up here. We don't sit around. There's hardly enough time during the day to do everything we need to do. But if you want to come and help us and build with us and create with us and dream with us, come on up, man. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to go now to a Terrence McKenna. Matt, you're so on the money, man. Matt was the one because I'm always apologizing about I'm not an ascended master, but I'm a student of ascension. Okay. And I'll just leave it at that. But I also, I and I don't want to go off on this tangent, but I kind of understand what it means to be from the future and from the past, and to understand that this is a huge genetic experiment here, a huge genetic um, experiment, and that we're dealing with fallen angels, we're dealing with severe evil, we're dealing with people that are choosing in droves to become basically AI puppets. The vaccinated I'm talking about. If you're a vaccinated we had it like here's a classic example. Okay, I'm going to tell a story that we went. Daniela said, I really want to go back to Planet Fitness and enjoy and work out a little bit. There's another place in town that's more expensive, it's fancier. She likes that better, but it's outrageously expensive. We can't even think about it. I forget how much was that place a month.
A little over $100 a month.
About $100 a month, but it's just out of our price range. Planet Fitness is better. So we went to Planet Fitness and we said, okay, we want to renew our thing. They said, well, first have to pay your bill. I'm like, what bill? They said, well, you never really canceled your contract. I said, well, we haven't been there in 6 months. She said, well, it doesn't matter. You have to pay for those 6 months and then you could talk about. I'm just like, well, does that make sense to you? And they're like, well, those are the rules. And I said to the woman, I said, have you been vaccinated? She said very proudly, yes, I have. I said, well, it shows. I mean, does that make sense to you? But this is the matrix. There are people that they're just happy with their comforts. They're happy with following the rules. Whether they don't even think about it. Does that make sense that you're charging us when we canceled this? We canceled. We walked in. They said you have to come in person to cancel. So we came in person and canceled. And they have it on their computer that we never officially canceled. I'm like, we came in and canceled. But they're like, well, these are the rules. And that's these people are completely insane puppets of the evil empire. And we don't want to deal with anybody like that. But anyway, so we just it's very frustrating for us to have to deal with this. We also we were talking about creating a new a car situation or truck situation. And we notice that people are less brilliant creative wise. They're less inclined to really think outside the box and create something like on a higher level that would work for us. You need someone with medical training and a first aid kit. Not really. Not really. I don't think so. I don't. I don't see that. I don't see that as a priority. I really don't. Um, no, I don't think so, Deb. I like the idea. Yeah, it would be nice to have somebody up here, but we're that's not that's just we're just that's not for us. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's possible we would need someone like that. I can't imagine. I mean, if they were totally into like holistic, I'd like to help you guys outreach with your gardening, carpentry, but I probably buy my own place. Yeah, in Apache City, right? Not facts. Yeah, that's great. And people who know what they're doing can do it. But if you're one of those people, maybe whatever, but no, I don't see that as a need for the community. I just don't. Things will arise. I don't even want to think. I just can't. I can't wrap my mind around. Not that it's a bad idea, Deb. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but we just want people that are already there. They don't want to. They don't want to have to. They don't want to have to buy a piece of land. They want to live with other people that are on the same page, and also have their own privacy, have their own life in their mindset, in their ability to live and dream. It's kind of a Carlos Castaneda kind of place. I mean, it's not. We're not talking about hallucinogens, but it is a very spiritual place to live. Um, yeah, Terrence McKenna, absolutely. But anyway, so I'm sure the right people, like James, just said, "I'm coming," and we said, "Okay, come." And he's just absolutely perfect. He just knew. He says, "I don't want to live in the Matrix anymore." And I said, he's talking about getting a job in town. I'm like, "No way, you're getting a job in town. You stay here. We will figure out the money situation. We'll take care of you. You just grow your plants because that's what he loves to do. That's the kind of person we want." Okay, so with that said, let's stick with this Terrence McKenna idea that things are getting weirder and weirder. This does not mean, I mean, things are already pretty weird matrix wise. You've got a community of of hardcore criminals and murderers running the world right now, and all their little sheep that are asleep, sleeping sheep. The structure of this, and I'm thinking of Dolores Cannon, of the world breaking into two pieces. That's, oh, thank you, baby. That's happening simultaneously. If you want to live in an active living community, if you feel like you're getting old and you can't take care of yourself, you don't want to come up here. If you feel like you're getting younger every year and getting healthier and getting richer and enjoying the challenge of existing in this desert environment without even coming in, you're living in the desert, you're living in the matrix, you're living in a criminal empire. It's 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 unbelievable that, and most people don't even want to look at that. So I totally get Terrence McKenna. I totally get him. I can channel him if I need to. I mean, that's how powerful his soul was, or is. How powerful his soul is. But we understand, lightly, like we don't understand consciously, but we understand that the whole story of the Garden of Eden is is the story of our lives. Now, whether the snake was good or evil, I don't know. I saw a brilliant thing, and I have it. I saved it, but that God, what we call God, is a motherfuck. I mean, God didn't want us to eat from the fruit of knowledge because we would be immortal like them. I mean, and the snake was like, "Hey, man, eat from the fruit of knowledge. It's not a bad thing, and that's a sin. Everything is. I believe the story is accurate to some degree, as a kind of a mythos that overlays on our collective consciousness. However, who's the good guy and who's the bad guy is not as clear to me as it used to be. I don't understand that a God would they say that Adam and Eve were 5 minutes away from the time period, and this is another. We're not timed people. We live with time. We live with time and dates. We know the date. We know what day of the week it is generally, but I do believe that I personally believe in this moment that these fallen angels, these evil motherfuckers, came down and mated with beautiful women. I can understand that. I think women are tremendous. They're it's I've spent probably the majority of my thinking time on the planet thinking about the opposite, about females, just how beautiful they are. However, these evil fallen angels, we call them angels, these fallen, we don't know. Were they good? Were they evil? It doesn't sound like they were so good to me in this moment. So that just blows the three major Avramic religions right out of the water. If God is not, if God doesn't want you to eat from the tree of knowledge and then to eat from the tree of life, so I mean, so 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 who's running the genetic experiment? Was it the serpent, or was it Elohim? Was it God in the physical sense? That was, but this is, you love the part of Terrence that said that the weirdness that we all witness is exactly what, yeah, when a biological species prepares to depart for the stars, fasten your seatbelts. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. And that's, if you come up here, you will see the stars. You will see stars like you've never seen the stars. It's that kind of place. And yes, I believe that we are on the ascension pathway. I think, I don't know how I got in. I got involved because I met Greg Whitehunt 40 years ago, who was a friend of Terence McKenna to some degree, and a new Ram Dass and all these pioneers of consciousness. And I also had the opportunity to indulge in 5-methoxy DMT a couple of times. I didn't need to do it more than, I think I did it twice, and that was enough. I've also taken the other form of DMT, which is made in the laboratory, and that's an incredible experience as well. But the ayahuasca based experience for me was not something I would ever want to really repeat. I saw what I needed to see and I moved on. Terrence apparently kept going back. Yeah, the stars are unbelievable up here. You get a little blasé about them. It's like, oh yeah, the Milky Way. You just, it's just like you can't see it on a moonlit night. And I'm completely convinced after watching the position of the moon over time that it is a satellite of some sort. I think it's a deep state kind of parasitic Illuminati creepazoid, fallen angel, who knows what. I don't know what the moon is. There's a lot of mythos about that in the Jewish world. I'm not even going to go into that. Okay, yeah, continuing with last night's experience, I highly recommend that everybody who's listening to my voice invest in one of the 8 plus ISO 222 coins. and to buy the dip. To buy it now is a very good time. It may even go lower, but it is, if you're going to position yourself as an independent in the struggle for independence, it would serve you well to have an asset that's going to go, in my opinion. I'm not an investment advisor in any means, but I've been following XRP. I've been buying XRP, I think, for like 10 years. And for better or worse, I got scammed out of a lot of it, but I still buy it. I don't have what I used to have. Maybe it'll be returned to me, maybe not. It doesn't matter. I keep going on. And that's the key to all this is perseverance, and just keep just keep going on. Just keep, be like Noxian, and just keep moving forward no matter what. But I think the investment part is very important. I think the health part is very important. I think we find it very beneficial to have X39, X49, Alavita, cool, et cetera, et cetera. SP6, glutathione patch, carnosine patch, and all this. The Phoenix Light witness in 1999, I believe. Yeah, if someone gets seriously hurt, you will know what to do with it. We'll know what to do. We know what to do up here. We're not we're not living in a third dimensional reality. We are. I mean, if you think that's an issue, just, with all due respect, I really value your friendship, but stay where you are. Stay close to where, if you want to know that you're close to a hospital, you should do that. We don't we're not we're not in that mode. We're not. It's we know things up here, that just things come to us. We don't have to sweat. We don't have insurance, all that. It's not for us. It is not, having a first aid. I do have some kind of first aid kit. I did have a serious accident when we first got up here, and it was taken care of by Corinne, of Brian and Corinne of spiritualbeingcoffee.com. She took care of it. But that was we live with divine providence. We live with God, with what people would call God. We don't call it God. We don't call it anything. We just live in it. So we do not feel, or at least I do not feel that we need to spend any time thinking about that, because everything we need is presented to us very nicely. Everything. And we live in that space of divine consciousness where we don't worry about things like that. It's not an issue. It's just not, it's not for us. So, yeah, they say XRP is a smart choice. It is. There's no question about it. I mean, I'm not an investment advisor, but if you don't own XRP, you're missing the point here. XRP, XLM, HBAR, IOTA, XDC, Algorand, Solana, Z ZBCN, I think it is. Well, I can't remember. There are a couple other coins that might be worth owning, but if you don't own it, what can I say? That's your choice. You want to just go around the world with your eyes closed. You want to be asleep. You want to be a sheep. You want to be a servant of the matrix. Don't buy XRP. Don't buy XLM. Serve the matrix. Live near a hospital. Make sure your money is in the bank. Get a cold wallet that Big Bird was talking about. Make sure you store it on a cold wallet if you are living in that reality. We are not in that reality. We are on a slightly different level here. I'm not saying it's greater or less, but if my understanding is we are living like the characters in Atlas Shrugged. We are not comfortable in the matrix. We are not going back to the matrix. We are creating an independent life up here. Do we depend on the matrix to a large degree? Yes, we do. We're not totally, but we are moving towards the stars. We are moving towards independence. We are moving towards producing our own food with technology. We are not giving up our Starlink satellite dish, our little dish. We're not giving up our solar panels. We're not giving up our propane. If we come into free energy systems, we'll change them out. But we're moving. We're doing this. We're doing it. And yeah, so I didn't mean a matrix doc. I meant a knowledge of emergency. Yeah, I know, but it's just not. It's just not an issue. It's just not an issue. Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but it doesn't seem to me to be a. I mean, I'm much more interested in finding somebody who can understand creative carpentry. That's really what we need. We don't need a person who specializes maybe in alternative medicine. I guess so. It would be, but we all do that. We all know which plants resonate with us. I don't think we need a special medicine man. We might, maybe, if somebody came up with who was the right fit for the community. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not saying you're wrong, Deb. I'm just saying that it's not an issue right now. Now we just saw, James just pointed out, he said, I just saw a black widow spider go by, and I said I didn't see it. So if we get bit, I don't even want to think about it. I'll would we rush down to Kingman General Hospital? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, think about it. Think about, a doctors specializing in first aid. Is this from the same community that injected us with the vaccine that made us into AI, that made the community into AI? Do we really want that? Do we want a brilliant alternative medicine person who's always going yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just don't know if they could use a hammer, if they, or a screw gun, and if they know how to build or grow or herd animals or any of these kinds of things. Yeah, come on up. And on the side, you want to be the healer of the community. It's okay. I'm okay with that. I don't know. And we also welcome, families. We want to have kids up here. We want to see children, non-vaccinated children, being educated by real people who aren't pedophiles and sickos, and just out to, that a place where, you can trust we could trust each other. If there's somebody in the community we can't trust, we'll have to ask them to leave. It's that simple. We'll meet together and we'll say, I just don't feel comfortable with this guy. He's always leering at me, and we'll ask him to go. But yeah, ONT, yeah, Shibu Inu. Shibu Inu, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. What does it do? Quant is good. Quant, I agree with you. Quant. Shibu Inu, I think that's a meme coin. What does it really do? Quant is a definite ISO 222 coin. Did you get allergies there? We don't get allergies. I mean, I sometimes sneeze. I sneeze more from when I feel cold, but we don't have allergies. We don't, we came here to get away from eczema.
I did the first year we were here because we didn't. No, I guess the body didn't. No, the Arizona trees with a lot of pollen, but this spring I didn't have any pollen.
So Daniela said the first year we were here, she suffered from allergies, but we don't have that anymore. We get tons of sunshine and generally clear skies. The chemtrailers are like, they seem to have, at least for the moment, decided not to inundate the skies with huge trails. Look, we need people to watch goats. I mean, I mean, if you're really good with goats, chickens, cattle, we need to build fences. This is just a community. I mean, I think we're going to be a community of the stars. We don't do things like religious things together. Like let's all go out and hold hands under the stars. We haven't gotten to that yet, but there are only three of us here, so maybe it'll come to that. I don't know. I just but it's a beautiful experience. We're really enjoying it. Obviously, we have 88 people. Yeah, my views have gone down a lot because people want to hear the news. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Are you brain dead? You really think something is going on out there that you haven't figured out yet? It's like, and we don't cater to that. My views, how many people? I put out a video today. I was shocked. It got like one, like a thousand hits, 2,000 hits. Usually I get 50, 60,000 hits, but that's because people want to hear the news. They don't want to hear you need to do something. That nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to accept that if you want to be, if you want to be like Hugh said, if you want to be at the end, you need to do something. You can't just sit here and wait for something to change. If you're like that, you might as well just, you're in the matrix. You're part of the matrix. You're like on the fringe of the matrix. And there's nothing wrong. I'm not judging anyone. If you have your comforts, you have your things, you go to the grocery store, whatever it is. If you're happy with that, it's fine. But if you feel like you want to live on the edge of a new reality, and you want to live in a way that we feel is divine, without, we don't have an unorganized set of rules yet. We may come up with rules like, don't do this or do that, or we may as a collective come up with these things. But I think by and large things are pretty obvious in the divine world. It's just don't do harm to anyone. Just don't. Does that mean that you're not going to offend people? No. I mean, we have issues. We do stuff, and we work through it. But yeah, I would stay away from Shiba Inui and the the little frog coin, the Peppy coin. I bought a bunch of it when I first saw it, and I said, "What am I doing?" And here is the thing. Here is the essence of that type of everything here. Bitcoin is a pet rock. It does nothing except it stores wealth for people who believe in it. It's going down now. It's going to go way down. I wouldn't touch Bitcoin with a 10-foot pole. Why? Because it doesn't do anything. What about XRP? XRP is going to be the quantum financial system, in my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. XLM. There was a thing today from the CEO of XLM of Stellar Lumens. She said, we've been planning to take over the banking system for 8 years. So if you don't own any XLM, any Stellar Lumens, just stay home and enjoy long showers, and eat some food that's been injected with mRNA, and see your doctor twice a year, and take whatever he gives you, and you'll be fine. You'll have a nice life. And but if you really want to live in a spontaneous place where you don't worry about stupid shit like bills. We don't thanks to Diane, the place is paid off. So I don't have any payments as of yet. We have one payment to Sam. We're paying off our friend Sam because he sold us a trailer, but we're almost paid off on that. We spend our money on meat, fruit, vegetables, but now we're going to be growing our own. So eventually that won't be needed. So you come up here and you'll live without the matrix, if that suits you, if you're ready for that, if you're interested in that. But yeah, so the other coins, so XRP, XLM, Quant, Solana to some degree, Algorand, Cardano, XDC, IOTA, a lot of the one we mentioned last night, the Z. I don't know, I whatever you got it from last night. Those coins you should own. Why? Because then you don't have to worry anymore. But why do you want to own those? Because in the divine world, in my opinion, and this is just me, in the divine world, everything has a purpose. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. The purpose could be because I love something beautiful. It could be, wow, that's beautiful. I just want to have it because it's beautiful. But if it doesn't have a purpose, it's important because other people like it or because you know, I mean, Bruce Springsteen, Oprah Winfrey. I mean, what's it? What's there? What's there? What's the essence? What's the tachlis? What's the purpose? Yes, something could be beautiful. I don't know, but the ISO 222 coins are going to be used as the future of finance. So do you want to own some now? Now, will your investment advisor tell you it's a great idea? No, because they're in the old world. We are creating a new reality, a totally new reality. Just like Howard Rourke in The Fountainhead. He wasn't interested in doing the same old stuff with architecture. He didn't want to do Greek classic architecture. He wanted to build really cool little vacation homes. And that's where he ended up living in the end. We want to create. We don't know. We don't know. We are not here to say we're doing geodesic domes or we're doing, neo-Tartarian buildings. We are using our intuitive abilities to do things we don't know where it's going. We don't have a predetermined plan of, okay, but year 5 we're going to be building what X. None of that. James wanted to do raised beds. I wasn't really crazy about the idea, but if James wants to build raised beds and he knows all about it and he knows how to do it, and we built a raised bed, and we'll probably have a lot of raised beds now. It wasn't I thought the whole garden was going to be one thing, but there are issues with it. And he says, we have a massive amount of cow pods here. So he's collecting them all. Yesterday he told me he was collecting one and a snake started chasing him. I mean, weird stuff happens up here. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not if you're you're worried about your 401k or being close enough to the hospital or any of that stuff. It's just not for you. It's for pioneers. We're pioneering a new lifestyle beyond the matrix. Thanks to Diane. Really, thanks to Diane. Diane saved our ass, pulled our ass out of the fire. And we're hoping that XRP goes to the moon and we can pay Diane back and just say, we love you. You saved us from the matrix that we're going to auction off this land without even telling me. She's like, okay, and then they posted about a month later, they posted something on my greenhouse down a half a mile from where I live that I don't go every day. But we survived. And now we want to move forward. And we want to be like Atlas Shrugged. We want to be like the community in Atlas Shrugged. If you're a person who is very emotional, I mean, you can, I'm not saying we want a bunch of robots up here. I personally, I am driven. I vibrate. I vibrate on the love frequency. My heart chakra is often open, and I could express myself in a way that you don't like and you don't feel comfortable, and that's okay. I'm not saying, that we all need to be promiscuous or anything like that. I don't see that as part. I mean, that was in the 60s. They were very big on that. I think, we're here to dedicate our lives to figuring out how to live together on this beautiful planet. Like Terrence McKenna said, maybe we're preparing to be star people. Maybe one day we'll all be taken aboard the mothership. Nobody would notice if we went missing. There's no one to hear to say, "Wow, man, mothership came by and took them." Nobody would notice. So maybe that's, yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying we're open to the future, and we're excited. Zebek, yeah. I don't think it's Zebek. I think it's Z. What is it?
I
Z.
thought it was about
Zebek. It is Zebek. Maybe it is. Yeah. Hey, Ellie Crypto for Sale. Great podcast last night. Thank you, Walter. Yeah, we're going to do that every Tuesday. Hopefully, Big Bird will come back. But I have lots to say about all this. The thing is, to me, is that the connection to crypto and to silver and gold is a spiritual thing. I don't see it so much. Big Bird sees it in a very different way than I see it. Okay, but I think it's important that you see, because divine providence put Big Bird in my pathway, and the voices inside my head said, talk to this guy. He's great. I love him. He had a presence about him that was just very magnetic. So we can talk on the phone for hours and hours and hours. And we try to get off, and it's just, he's a fascinating person who is like us. He learns by his experiences. That's being in the divine flow, man. And so I think owning these coins, owning silver, owning gold. Like I said, I'm hoping to find gold out here. I'm doing like one better. I'm saying, let's figure out which rocks have it, and grind them up. See if we can pan them out. So far, we haven't run into anything, but that's okay. We're not giving up. We want to live in a magical, like, connection to spiritual. Like, people in my community say, well, Ellie, are you praying? I'm like, I should stop living with God to pray? Does that make sense to you? We live with the divine. Everything we do is divinely inspired. Are we 100% on the money? Do we always do kind, wonderful, generous things with each other? No. But there's a divine flow that works up here because there's not a lot of interference. We don't have 5G towers on the next mountaintop. Not a healer. Just know people have accidents. Yeah, I don't even want to think about it. You could have accidents in town too. I mean, do you live with a first aid kit and a doctor, because you might cut yourself in the kitchen? I don't know. It's no different from living in the Matrix. We just don't think about it. I don't think about it. Am I naive? Absolutely. Am I impractical? Yeah. That's just what I wanted. That's just the way I see it. If we have, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure. Here's the thing, Deb. The right people are going to come here. There'll be healers here. There'll be people who know what to do. There'll be James. We had our first visitor, Lawrence. Lawrence was a wonderful guest. He was very, very in tune with us, and just a really fun guy to be with. But it wasn't for him. James just said, I want to be there. And when he was halfway up the mountain in his little car that was slipping and sliding in every which direction, he said, I feel like I'm out of the Matrix. And I don't want James to ever feel like he has to go get a job or anything like that, or even think about it. The only thing that I'm encouraging James to do is I want him to own some cryptocurrency himself. I don't want him to, if my crypto goes up, he and I are like completely non-monetary. He told me he gets some kind of like sustenance from the government. He gets free. I said, okay, so we'll buy some free food. You pay for whatever food we need, and I'll I'll spend my money on dirt for your gardens, for our gardens. We're not going to be keeping score up here. We're not going to be saying, oh, you need to pay us this. But if you feel like you want to help us pay off Diane, we would make you, if you wanted to buy a section of this land, we'd rather sell it within the community. If you want to go live in the canyon, or we have 170 acres. I have not walked on 1/10 of my land, of our land. I haven't explored. I've seen it from the road, but whenever I do go like down the canyon, all the way down the canyon to the end of my property, I'm just like, holy shit, this place is fucking cool. There's always something to explore. You will not be, if you're the right kind of person, you will never be bored up here. I mean, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't find something to be, whether it's looking at geckos or lizards or the beautiful insects or the birds, and nature will be more attracted to us as we get more established with our well. We just got our well fixed, so we're making steps to make, and we have plumbing inside the house, so we're getting closer to a position where we can move the RV out, and I have a place. James is sleeping in the greater house, not inside the RV, which we're really happy about, because we have a little bit of privacy. But we're not coming up here to be aesthetics and live like monks and live with, wear burlap underwear. But we do want to wear natural fibers. We want to eat food that's organic and clean. We want to cook together. We want to eat together. We want to give each other lots of space if you need it. People like us are probably people that, I know myself, I need a lot of personal time. I need a lot of reflective time. And if you can walk, you have to let us know. Okay, I'm going for a walk in this direction. I'll be like, okay, will you take my pistol with you just in case? Okay, take a pistol. There are mountain lions out here. We've never seen one, but who knows? It doesn't hurt to walk around. Daniela goes walking without a pistol. I'm just like, we walk together without a pistol. We're not like freaked out, like, paranoid crazies that are like, oh my God, they're going to attack us. It's like, there are wild animals out there, but generally, so far, they've been very sweet to us, except they're getting into the garden. So we're going to put a little fence around it. Next week, I'll see you guys from El Salvador. Cool, man. I love that you're traveling, Walter. That's beautiful. Looking forward to when their family flip the switch over to the new quantum physics. Yeah. Yeah. So looking for, yeah, but you don't need to wait. We're already in the quantum financial system. That's what I'm saying. You're waiting for them. If you're waiting for them to flip the switch, I don't know what to say. You need to be involved in your life. Don't wait for them. The quantum financial system is already active. Buy some XRP, buy some XLM, buy land, do stuff. Don't sit and wait. Don't wait for the quantum financials. Don't wait for the switch to be flipped, because you can flip the switch anytime you're ready. We already have. We're investing. We're delighted that XRP and XLM are going down, because we'll get to buy some more. I bought some H bar last night. I bought $50 or $25 worth of H bar last night. We're delighted. We're already in the quantum financial system. The switch has already been flipped. It's just a matter of you accepting it, because these investments, silver, gold, ISO 222 coins, you're already in the quantum financial system. You're outside the matrix if you own those things. Yeah, that's just me. That's great podcast. I hope I'm not too didactic in this one. I'm feeling a little bit like I feel like a little frustrated. I'm very frustrated that my message is not being that they're not hundreds of thousands of people on my channel, that they would rather listen to Joe Rogan be shocked about the fact that Oprah Winfrey is a pedophile than work on building a new life, like Terrence McKenna says, like Matt Myers say, that we are students of ascension. Get out of the matrix. Don't wait. Don't wait for the switch to be flipped. Flip the switch yourself. Buy a Tartarian bell, get the right frequency. There's so much work that needs to be done. Don't wait for them to come and say, okay, now it's time to go. You could go out and play now, Johnny. It's safe out there. You have to do it yourself. That's my opinion. I know I didn't even get to the I hinted at some of this information I'm getting. The whole world is going down. The whole world is changing. The switch has already been flipped. You're too late if you're waiting for it's happened a long time ago. Like this woman from XLM, she's been working on this for 8 years. XLM, if you don't own some XLM, I don't know what rock you're sleeping under. This is just, and I hope those of you who are newbies free yourself from the matrix. You don't have to wait. Don't wait for anyone's permission. Don't wait to be told it's safe now. I can go outside and play. Make it safe. Just make a decision. If you need help, you want to come and spend a few days with us and see what it's like to live outside the matrix. We're okay with that. You want to do a little field trip, spend a few days, help us build a little bit, see what it's like. Fine. But don't wait. If you're waiting, I'm not saying Paul. I'm not dissing you, man. I know there are hundreds of millions of people that are waiting for the switch to be flipped. I'm not saying you're one of them, but they're all on Joe Rogan. They're all waiting to be saved. Those kind of people are not going to make it. They are not going to make it. That's what, I really didn't want to get to this level, but that's what Q said. The ending is not for everyone. Okay. It is not for everyone. Most of humanity will be wiped out mentally. They may still be alive, but they are part of the AI system. They have been vaccinated. They are comfort driven. They are asleep. They are sheep. They are, if we have to interact with them, fine. But I'm not interested. Because of the technology, because of an ordinary person without a broadcasting degree, can reach out to some kind of audience, a couple of thousand, 10,000, 20,000, whatever it is, and find some people that understand what I am talking about. I don't like to make statements like this, but if you need it from a third dimensional reality, I am from the future. If you need to look at it like that, I am from the future. We are from the future and we are from the past. We are people who understand what the earth is about. If we are, does it mean I'm a big hotshot, nudnik guru type person? No. But I understand my position in this, in a third dimensional reality way of looking at things. There are all these people out there that, they're channeling this and channeling that. I don't want to go there. It's not for me. I don't want to but it's obvious to me that the information I'm sharing with you is not something that a kid who grew up in Scarsdale, New York would even know about. It just is what it is. I had to get that off my chest. We're watching this thing called Travelers, about the director, and the director is AI. to some degree. That we don't, but there are two forces on the planet. There's the AI driven force, and we can still interact with that. And there's divine frequency. We are we are moving this community, and this community both online and up here are moving into soul, into divinity, into constant contact with creation itself. If you're not there, and I'm not saying I'm there 100% of the time, but if you're not at least on the, as Matt Myers says, if you're not a student of ascension, you won't understand it. You want to, well, is he a guru? Is he a this? Is he a that? Well, as soon as you name something like that, it has no significance. That's why they say in scripture, like, don't make God an image. Don't make God a physical thing. Don't make God a person. Don't say he's the son of God. That is just totally matrix. That is total matrix bullshit. You're all children of God. You're all sons of God. This is a divine universe. To say, well, and I want to be like him. Okay, that's okay. But to put somebody up on a pedestal like that and say, he died for my sins, and because of him, I am forgiven. What kind of bullshit is that? I'm sorry to say, I'm not disrespecting Christians, because a true Christian embraces the light and says, I have that spirit within me, and I can be just like the Jewish dude, the carpenter dude, right? I could be just like him. I don't know. I don't know from that. I don't know from that. I don't want to go there. The same problem exists in Judaism. Certainly the same problem exists in Islam. There is problematic following rules, considering yourself a horrible sinner. There are people that need to feel that way. That is part of the process of being a student of enlightenment, as Matt says, is that you may need to go, you may have some bad habits, and you may need to feel like, I'm a sinner and I need to do tshuva, I need to rectify the situation. I, for one, went to AA I went to like 2-3 meetings a day for about 2 years. And then I said, okay, I got it. That's enough. But I needed to go through that. And that's fine. You need to go through. I spent 25 years as an Orthodox Yid in New York City, in a Hasidic community. I needed to go through that. And then one day I was like, okay, enough of this. Everyone wants to, they're all waiting for the Messiah to come. I'm like, I don't feel that. I don't feel that anymore. I want to be in the divine flow. So for me, the divine flow, I'm most connected to the divine flow in nature. So I was looking for a house for my girl because she has eczema in Arizona because it's dry. I saw a property, 170 acres for 120 grand. I said, boy, would I love that. And we came here, and we've been here for 2 years, and we made it work. We're making it work for us. We're working on the house. The house is coming along. We got the well fixed. We have water. We have a garden now. We have a gardener. We have a freezer full of meat that hasn't been injected by the creeps that run the world. We're off the matrix. We're out of the matrix. With James's coming, I can say it, because when it's just Daniela and me, it's like we're just a couple that's living on this big piece of land. But now that James is here, and James is saying, like, I'm not leaving. I'm here to stay. And that makes that so that is called divine flow, that we're in the divine flow. We're open to all directions, but him saying, okay, we're out of the matrix. Let's stay here. I'm like, cool, man. And he comes out with a suitcase full of seeds of every vegetable you can imagine, from Baker, I think it's Baker Creek, all organic seeds, and he knows how to grow trees. And I mean, this is divine flow. That's how we want to live. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Yeah, find the BB world, right? I don't know what you mean by BB, but crypto is the future, in my opinion. I think so too. I totally do, and I think if you don't, like that's what I'm getting with James. I'm like, you have to own some yourself. Daniela owns quite a bit of crypto. So there's a lot of crypto technologies like that I can't buy because of but she got on Uphold, which I is a great platform in my opinion. Up If you can get on Uphold, I would say that's the best platform that I've seen, because Uphold has all the coins that Coinbase is too afraid to list. And Coinbase this, oh, we don't have that here in this state. We can't. Uphold doesn't do that. But there are certain things you can't buy. Like Big Bird said, just buy some Z, whatever it was, that thing that I mentioned last night on Coinbase. Well, I went to Coinbase, they don't even list it in this state. That's how new this stuff is. But anyway, yeah, so I've gone on and on. Yeah, a BB fat finger phone type error. Oh, okay, BB. Okay, yeah, I don't know what you mean, but yeah, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. But don't wait. Don't wait to, well, as soon as my 401k, as soon as I reach the right, just leave. There must be 50 ways to leave your matrix. Leave. Come here if you really need, or you want to learn how to do it, or you feel like you'd like to see what it looks like. Spend a few days with us. This is going to be a teaching community for people who want to live in a divine way with force, without religions, without money, without judgment. Will we do it perfectly? No, we will. I'm sure we'll make all kinds of mistakes, and that's fine with me. I'm all about making mistakes. That's how you learn. But this is going to be an educational community dedicated to people ascending, becoming themselves, connecting to their own soul. Anyway, there's all kinds of news that I wanted to touch on, but you can get that. Go to X. You could go on my feed. I'll show you. You can see what things I find interesting. But we're here, man. We're doing it. This is it. This is the great transformation of humanity. This is not a revolution. This is an evolution, in my opinion. We are moving from like Terence McKenna says, we are moving from one species to another. We are becoming another species. And we're doing it up here. If you've been vaccinated a zillion times, please don't come up here. Please. This is a community dedicated to. I lost my job. I lost my way to make a living. I lost everything because I wouldn't get vaccinated. I don't want vaccinated people on my land. I don't. On our land, we're not interested. So if that's an issue, I'm sure there are plenty of nice communities that you could go to. But we are trying to do this organic. We're trying to learn how to live, and it's an educational experience. Anyway, I also just want to mention the LifeWave product. That, yes, you should be owning. Yes, you should get on Uphold if you're not on Uphold. If you can get on, they won't accept me. I can't get an Uphold, but Daniela they do accept. So I invest with her on her platform. Things like XDC I can't buy on Coinbase, but we can buy it on Uphold. So invest, but also invest in your health, so you don't have to worry about living near a hospital, because you won't have to go. You want to be healthy. You want to focus on great health. These patches are absolutely phenomenal. They put nothing in your body. They're not third dimensional. if you're a third dimensional person, you will not be interested in this. You'll just be like, hey man, I'm not sure it's going to work. I don't believe it works. I believe in, my doctor, whatever. Don't even think about it. It's not for you. But if you understand that we are coming into a different dimensional reality, we are reaching for the stars, we're becoming a new species, get the X2O machine. It is phenomenal to have water that's infused with light. It's a tremendous machine. Call Dr. Stacy. Say, I want a machine. It's $5,500. You could put it on PayPal, but it's something that should be part of your life. The X39, resetting your stem cells, the glutathione patch, aloe vera with your pineal gland. All these things are there are people, when you meet a real life wave person, they don't need their doctor to say, oh, it's okay now. They don't need proof. They don't need third dimensional. There are all kinds of clinical proofs. I mean, David Schmidt doesn't do stuff without getting lots and lots of scientific evidence. So if you need that, when you go to the your life wave uh, website, because when you become a brand partner, when you join, you get your own website. So go to your website and check it out, and there's a button that says, I think it's resources, and you can go to all the clinical studies, or go to Dr. Stacy's channel at drstacy.com. No, I'm sorry, drstacyzoom.com, 8 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesday night. Anyway, I've gone on too long, and I know I blabbed a lot. I don't mean to put anyone down. Everybody has their own pathway. Everybody has a different soul. And I'm 71, so I've gone through a lot of things that somebody at 50 probably has to go through. So if you don't understand what I'm talking about, it's okay. You will someday. You will when the time is right. Do I understand Terrence McKenna completely? Not really. I mean, I haven't done nearly as much DMT as he had. He was totally in another world. I've seen that world. I know what it looks like. I know what it means. I know that everything is divine. Everything is connected. Everything knows. There's no the random stuff is coming from the enemy, is coming from these demons. They're creating this random evil stuff, but in the real world, it doesn't exist. Everything knows everything else, and it is one. It is a big piece of echad, of unity, of 13. I didn't know that the gematria of echad, which means one, unity, is also the gematria of the word ahava, which means love. Love and unity have the same numeric gematria. Love and unity, echad, oneness. So love yourself first. Learn to love yourself. Learn to forgive yourself. Learn to not to judge yourself. Learn not to judge others. And we'll see you up there, man. The telepathy exists. So if you're thinking about me, I'm thinking about you. Don't think, don't, it's just like with the patches. The third dimensional world wants to tell you, oh, someday I'll be telepathic. You're already telepathic. Can I move objects with my mind? No, because I can't. But I don't even try. Probably if I was really focused on doing just that, I probably could figure out a way. We all can. I'm not like some special person, but we're all telepathic all the time. We all have communications. We all recognize people that are complete strangers in ways that affect you. You can feel somebody that you see them and you know them, and it's not a logical thing. It's just but it's real. None of, they tried to keep us in this third dimensional prison. But to be freed from a prison, you need somebody out on the outside. Am I that person? I might be for you. I might not. There might be somebody else who can for you. Maybe you get a hold of Greg Whitehunt. He's a great teacher. He's online. You could contact him. He communicates through sound, through flutes. He builds flutes. Anyway, it's a beautiful world. Thanks for putting up with me, and check out the LifeWave product. Make sure you own some of the ISO 222 coins. Buy the dip. Do not get freaked out if you bought it 2 years ago and it went down. It doesn't matter. It is beyond time and space. It is beyond a dollar value. It is security for the future, or it is resources for the future. But you won't really even need resources in the future anyway, because the whole scarcity scam is just that, a scam. Anyway, I've spoken long enough. We will see you tomorrow's Thursday. I'll be on with the Republic, members of the Republic. The people inside the Republic are morphing a bit. And, I just want to encourage people to join the Republic. But we are starting to branch out a bit from this sort of hardcore Christian approach to the Republic. And the newer members of the Republic are like, well, wait a minute. The Republic is not about some Jewish guy that died for our sins. We are about embodying the spirit of love. Yes. Do we need to call it that? I don't know. But the Republic could be a way that we will govern ourselves, at least locally, for a while. This is a local governance. We won't need governance. We won't need governments where we're going. We will be our own government. We are. If you want to know what it's like to govern yourself, you may want to come up here. We don't need courts. We don't need any of that shit. We don't need licenses. We don't want your inspectors up here. Maybe Go Time will come up and make sure that no inspectors feel comfortable up here. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for living in the divine world, but I know that I will be on. Am I on with John Dowling tomorrow? Yeah, baby. Yeah, I think I'm on with John Dowling, but I don't know when he'll probably publish it in the next coming days. But I'll be on with John Dowling tomorrow. I'll be on with the Republic tomorrow, and I'll be on doing the regular. My Thursday night broadcast. Another week has gone by. We're growing. All of us are growing, and enjoy this transformation of society. Don't get it. Don't let if you want to live in the Matrix, God bless you. If you don't want to live in the Matrix, God bless you. Either way, it's fine with me. But yeah. So let me do a tune. Yeah, let's leave the Matrix together. Okay.
Living in the city, I was paying down my bills. One flat tire and the whole thing went to hell. Credit cards for groceries, I'm deep in debt again. It's time to split this scene, walk with you, my friend. Leaving the Matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the Matrix, we're heading for the promised land. Stopped paying taxes, your insurance I don't need. The medicines are killing us. Hospitals grow like weeds. Move into paradise. I don't need no gassy cars. Fake news, endless wars, a satanic legal bar. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. My friends all tell me I lost control. Left my wife and job just to run down rabbit holes. But I can tell you one thing about my fall. Where we go one, we go all. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. Leaving the matrix, we're heading for the promised land.
Okay, yeah, got that. All right. So anyway, so may the force be with you. May you realize that you are force itself. Be you. Try to love yourself. Try to, don't even try. Just do it. Just love yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just say, okay, I made a mistake. I could do better next time, but I'm I'm on the pathway, as Matt Myers says. I'm a student of ascension. Come join us if you feel like this is a place for you, or check it out. We don't have a lot of extra time to really entertain folks because we're building a place for divinity in the real world. May source be with you. May you realize that you are source itself, that you don't need anyone's permission. You don't need your rabbi, your priest, your imam, or whatever to tell you that you're okay. You're okay. This is a godly world. This is a godly invention. And we are evolving into a new species that we're probably evolving into versions of ourselves from the past into the future, whatever that means. So let's get out there with a big smile, with a big feeling of joy and love and appreciation of ourselves, of our differences, of our beauty, of our innate quirks, of the beauty in the quirkiness of each of us. So let's get out there with a big smile on our face.